Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the 10 Count brought to you by your friends at Bodyslam.net. And folks watching, listening right now, it is going to be one hell of a week for your boys right here on the 10 Count. Not only did it start with a hell of a lot of professional wrestling this past weekend, we have Slammiversary this Sunday, so we're going to be doing predictions on that because obviously we're going to be there live and in person and in color. And we also, yesterday night, your boy Justin and I did our first ever interview with the professional wrestler, Bear Bronson, on the podcast, fellow Long Islander. You can listen to it now exclusively on the Bodyslam Patreon. So if you are a subscriber or not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to go tune into that. Exclusive access for that. It was awesome. The man is a deathmatch, I want to say king, but maybe in the future we can get a Long Islander king of the death match between Cardona and him, which would be epic. But Justin, I'm going to ask you first real quick before we get into our predictions. How was that interview last night?
It was awesome. Bear Bronson is an unbelievable guy. He was so down to earth. He shot the shit with us for a few minutes afterwards. We almost ran an hour, and he was like, "No, keep it coming, keep the questions going. I love to like." We were not a bother to him at all. He is just so awesome. And man, that Cardona versus Bear Bronson match, it's a match written in the stars. They're both creative pro. They're both in the deathmatch scene. Cardona says he's the deathmatch king. Bear Bronson is now up and coming in this deathmatch scene, and he is taking it by storm. It's only a matter of time, hopefully. You know, we throw things out into the universe and hopefully they come true. But yeah, what a time. Like Ty said, you can catch it live now at the Bodyslam Patreon. The link is down below. It's well worth the $5 a month. You have all the exclusives from our insiders. You got Corey, you got Viper, you got Cody Woods, you got all of them. And then you just have these exclusive interviews, which are just phenomenal. Everyone there is doing an outstanding job. But man, it just doesn't stop. We're here tonight, and now we got Slammiversary coming up, brother. I cannot believe Slammiversary is now 2 days away. Oh,
Yeah.
3 days away, technically.
3 days.
Yeah, technically.
It's almost there. We're pushing that 2-day mark. I'm excited. I've never been to UBS yet, so I'm really pumped up about that. I mean, the car's really shaping up, and I saw there might be some hints of Slammiversary being phenomenal, which maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. I'll keep my fingers crossed for that one.
I am seeing, I'm not being told, like I'm not an insider, but people are coming to me saying, just sending me, AJ Styles gifts. You saw, I don't know, it's out there, Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful. He had Carlos Silva, the president of TNA, on his show today, and he said straight up, I'm going to ask you, is AJ Styles showing up at Slammiversary? And all Carlos, he gave a little smile, he gave a little laugh, and he just said that this show is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be truly phenomenal, and that's all he would say. There's word that there might be other WWE main roster surprises at this show. I mean, brother, the show is going to be incredible. It's going to be the highest grossed TNA event in, I think, 10 years. Dude, I can't wait. I literally cannot wait.
I would love, which I don't think is going to happen because they've joked about bringing him back during the Royal Rumble, and I feel like he's done with the in-ring stuff. But I would love to see Abyss show up. He is a producer for WWE, so it would be a dream to also see him come back in the garb at Slammiversary. I think that's a little too much hope. You never know. I mean, I feel like they're going to try to pull out all the stops for this show, but a man can wish, right?
I'm just wondering, I don't think we're going to get a match for AJ, but I think we're going to get an appearance that sets up a match later on down the road. Because if you've been watching TNA, you have AJ Francis saying he's the real AJ in TNA. The hints are there. Trick Williams is making a diss track about literally every wrestler in TNA. That video is incredible, by the way. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's all throughout social media, but the hints are there. And I'm hoping we get an AJ sighting and it leads to said return back to TNA I mean, what a run, you know, it's just incredible. I cannot believe the the realm of professional wrestling that we're currently living in. It's just incredible.
It's crazy, especially for the most part. Last weekend was super successful, in my opinion. I loved, I'm gonna say 75% of what happened. Even, we spoke about some of the storylines for Evolution 2 not fully being there, but those women freaking delivered. But we can definitely talk about that later.
Mhm.
But let's get into the predictions for Slammiversary. We have the cards slated. We have a match that we'll start off with here, where Cardona was attacked by the Dark State, and he announced that he's going to be at Slammiversary in some capacity. Justin, you were the one that kind of like pushed this theory into fruition too. Let's start with it.
Yeah, so I just want to read the tweet first. So from here, Randy, as always, howdy brother. We have Matt Cardona. He tweets out 4 years ago at TNA Slammiversary in a tiny studio in Nashville. This Sunday, I'll be wrestling. He says he'll be wrestling. So I'll be wrestling at TNA Slammiversary in a damn near sold out UBS arena on Long Island, New York. Matt Cardona and TNA keep getting counted out, but keep coming back stronger than ever. So we see Matt Cardona. He's clearly not signed to TNA, but he's involved. He is an active. He's working under whatever contract he's working under. He's been there for now, I'd say 2 months, 2.5 months, just weekly doing whatever he's doing. He gets attacked by Dark State. There's obviously a connection with him and Brian Myers. More Long Island boys. Long Island just pumps out professional wrestlers. That's just what I'm coming up to. That's my verdict here. But he gets attacked by the Dark State, and he says he needs friends. There was, if you have been watching TNA, there was a little meeting. They've come face to face, and Brian Myers has walked away. But it just makes sense. We just saw the system invade NXT on this past Tuesday night, and you have the Dark State. Moose is already in a match. So Moose, unless he's going to pull double duty, which he has before, I don't think he will again. It just makes perfect sense to have Cardona reunite with Brian Myers, and then you add in Eddie Edwards, and you add in Fandango, who now goes by JDC, and you have a 4-on-4, and you have the reunion of the Edgeheads, like we've said, back on Long Island. Like, how else, just the perfect way to go about it. And if that does become official tonight, because obviously the go home episode of TNA to Slammiversary is tonight at 8:00, I have to go with Matt Cardona and the system. So this match that we don't even know if it's actually a thing, I'm going with the system and Matt Cardona against the Dark State if that match is made official by Santino Marella.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's going to be the system and Matt Cardona. I can't see, if they do bring him back, if they bring them back together, I can't see them losing, because it's such a nice reunion on Long Island at UBS. I mean, sorry, Dark State, I know you guys are, pretty vicious and you like to jump people all the time, but it's time for our Long Island boys to clean up shop, do what they do best, and come out with the W in that matchup. And we do like to predict potential matches here. We've done it before in the past. I mean, it's nice to guess that too, because if we could predict the match and the winner of that match, hey, that's a double win in my opinion, right?
Oh, dude, it's just being able to see those two. Because I don't know if I'm going to throw you back into the time machine right now, but our old friend Mark, his mom had known either Zack Ryder's mom or whatever, and got the Major Bros poster signed. I don't know if you got one, but I literally have next to me to Justin, the Major Bros. So just to see them back together, create a pro wrestling Long Island, it just comes full circle. Let's go.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I'm so excited, especially to be able to see that on Long Island. Me and you, full circle, man. All right, let's get into, which I didn't know until I read the card before we did this, which I think is insane, especially coming off the tails of this past weekend. We have Masha Slamovich and we have JC Jane, title for title. What they're just trying to cook. They're just trying to put on the show of shows right now, and I'm here for it. I was very surprised. JC Jane came out victorious. We all thought that Jordan Grace was gonna take this one easy pickings and then head back to TNA to possibly be in a match like this, but we're not. We have Blake Monroe with the huge turn, which I had the feeling once they had that segment before the show, I was like, oh, Blake's turning heel. She's gonna do dirty on Jordan Grace, but I think that JC Jane can squeak this one out too. I don't know for a fact because I feel like, especially with the whole Trick Williams thing and winning the TNA title, I feel like maybe they're pushing a little more WWE people to win TNA championships. But I think Masha Slamovich would have a perfect time to be both, and that's who I'm going to pick. I'm more like my brain is saying JC, but my heart's saying Masha. So I'm going with Masha. Like, I would love to see a TNA person hold a WWE championship, and I think this could be the perfect time.
I'm with you. We see Trick Williams win the TNA World Championship. So I think it's only fair and it's only time for a TNA star to win a NXT championship. So I'm going with Masha on a TNA show, TNA's WrestleMania. Yeah, I'm going, unless somehow Blake is now involved with Fatal Influence and we see a run-in from her. That's the only way I see JC walking out with this. But I'm with you. I'm going Masha Slamovich. She will be the women's champion for TNA and NXT come Sunday.
I love it. Also, before we continue, totally forgot to mention this. I wanted to do this before, but there's so much going on. Today is our former co-host Court's birthday, so I wanted to do a huge happy birthday shout out to Court. We love you. Happy birthday. I saw you were at Farrell's. I know you're killing it there as always. Happy birthday all around. And then second, my alarm scared the shit out of me. I don't know if people saw my face. I guess last night when I put 6:45 a.m., it was actually p.m., which was what just happened. So if you heard a little alarm and you saw me like facially and physically shit myself, that was why. Anyway, let's get into the next match. We have the Elegance brand versus the Inspiration for the TNA Women's Tag Team Championships. Justin, who you thinking?
I gotta go the Inspiration. The Iconics, it's just I've missed them. I kind of wish that they showed back up at Evolution. I thought that would have been a great pop for them, but they are here in TNA for a bit, and I'm kind of over Ash by Elegance. It's just the whole character just kind of annoys me. Sorry, Ash by Elegance, if you're watching. It just, I don't know, just something about it. So I'm going with the Inspiration. Let's go. Let's bring it back. Let's get iconic. Let's get inspired by the Inspiration. Let's go.
That's what I want too. I want the Inspiration taken. I think they'll be the ones too, because to me, like, they encompass women's tag team wrestling, and even as the Iconics, because I love their dynamic. I thought they were hysterical, but also, they were women's tag team champions in WWE, I believe. Yeah. And it was just a fun ride. And when they went their separate ways, I didn't know if we'd ever see them back together. And when they popped up on TNA once again, I'm like, they have to be the women's tag team champions. Like, there's no way. The moment they get this shot, they need to take the reign as, the best women's tag team in the world. And that's what I'm going for.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's official or if it was an official report, but I did see that. I don't know how long the contract is that they signed. So that kind of scares me, just being like a smart mark there. Obviously, if it's a shorter contract, I don't know if they'll give the titles to them. But here I am. I'm hoping the Inspiration wins. So let's go Inspiration.
Yeah. And also, fun fact, if you guys already don't know, you probably know this if you're listening to the podcast, but Cassie Lee and I'm going to say, Jesus, I almost said Ty Dillinger. I'm going real back to WWE. Sean Spears, they're married. They just had a kid. So they're now like working in the same realm together because of these TNA NXT crossover. So maybe they'll be able to do some crossovers. Probably not. I know they like to do their things separate, but that's another case for them to, stick around in TNA because they can possibly see each other here and there. But yeah, let's get into. We have Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander. I feel like, to me, I think Mustafa Ali is going to take this. He's been really showing out on TNA and really pushing himself to the next level. And not to diminish Cedric Alexander at all, but he's kind of still been baseline-ish for me. He's out there trying to do his thing, but I feel like Mustafa Ali is just getting there and owning it. And I feel like a loss for him wouldn't be great here, but that's just my opinion.
I love this unhinged Mustafa Ali. I absolutely love it. Compared to the characters that we've seen him portray in WWE, this is unbelievable work. This just goes to show you, if they had allowed him, just a little free reign and a little control, this is what he could produce. Incredible stuff, especially with, how great of a wrestler he is. So I'm also with you. This is so far we are simpatico. I'm going with Mustafa Ali.
I know there's a match, but he might not be simpatico in the near future, or the main event, I should say.
Okay.
What about Tessa Blanchard versus Indy Hartwell? Who do you got for that one?
Oh boy. I mean, everyone despises Tessa Blanchard, rightfully so. For some reason, I feel like she might come out on top, but I'm going to go with Indy. I love Indy Hartwell. She's phenomenal. I'm going Indy Hartwell. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm not going to overthink it. Let's go Indy.
Yeah, I feel like they do want to really, push Indy in this TNA women's division. But I'm right there with you, Justin. I feel like Tessa kind of for whatever reason, when they book her, they kind of make her there's no way they're gonna have her win, and then it's oh crap, she just freaking won. So I'm going with Tessa. I think she's gonna squeak this one out. I think it could maybe push them forward a little longer in a feud. Maybe it's underhanded tactics or someone gets involved, but that's where I'm gonna go with that match.
I'll tell you what, the boos for Tessa Blanchard, they are going to be raining down from UBS. We'll have to make sure we record that because it's going to be loud.
All right. We're getting into championship territory again. We got the men's TNA Tag Team Championships. We have the Nemeths, the Hardys, the Rascals, and First Class in a fatal four-way ladder match. Who do you got?
You want my gut or you want my mind? Do you want my brain or you want my gut?
I want whatever's going to be on the graphic this week.
I really want the Hardys. Going back to nostalgia, just seeing the Hardys on Long Island in a ladder match, I really want the Hardys, especially with the run that they've been on has been pretty superb. Going back to them showing up in NXT as the champions. I don't think the Nemeths are retaining. I'll say that much. I'm stuck between the Rascals and the Hardys. And I don't care if I'm wrong. I'm going with the Hardys.
Yeah, I got to go with my heart too, man. It's got to be the Hardys. That's what I'm going to be cheering my ass off for, which, as a person, if you've known me or listened to me in the past with the Hardys, I've been a big Jeff hater in the past. Back in 2008, Madison Square Garden, Royal Rumble, Court and I booing this shit out of Jeff Hardy, cheering for Randy Orton in that great match with the great RKO counter to the twist of fate. Still, it just plays in my brain all day to be able to see that live. But the nostalgia factor, Justin, like you said, the ladder match, the fatal four-way ladder match, they're really ramping this up. And I think the Hardys are going to lay it all out on the line. This is where they want to shine. It's their match. It's their time again. They want those titles back. And that's why they're going to become the new TNA Tag Team Champions.
That match might steal the show. I'm putting it out there right now. I know the Hardys have said that this is their realm, obviously, the ladders. And I believe Matt teased, if they don't win this, they might need to consider doing something else, maybe the run is over, but I think this is just the start again. Or maybe it is the end and then they have their final run in WWE leading to a Hall of Fame induction. I see that also on the horizon, but we'll see. I cannot wait. That match is going to be incredible.
It really is. I don't know if I've ever been to a ladder match live either. I have to like check myself, but I don't think I have. So that'll be really exciting. Leading up, we have 2 more matches. This one's going to be for the X Division Championship. We have Moose and Leon Slater. I was just cooking this in my brain as we were speaking. What if Moose and Leon Slater happen early on and the Dark State come and screw over Moose to have him lose the X Division Championship to Leon Slater to then kind of push the system to fight with Cardona in an actual match later on in the night. So I'm going to envision this. I'm going to try and be a prophet once again. It usually fails. Sometimes it works. John Cena at WrestleMania. But I'm going to go Leon Slater becomes a new X Division champion, which will lead to the system and Cardona versus Dark State.
I like it. We will know tonight if your prophecy could potentially become true, because if they announce the match tonight, then womp womp womp. But regardless, I know they love Leon Slater, man, and he is incredible. And he has a chance to become the youngest title holder in TNA history. I think a lot of history is going to be made. You know, you have Moose. He had this incredible run as X Division champion. He is one of the TNA greatest of all time. One of them, he's up there. He's probably on the Mount Rushmore. But I think more history gets made Sunday night, and I'm going Leon Slater. I don't know if Dark State's going to interfere, but regardless, I'm going Leon.
All right. I dig it. And we have the final match of the night, the TNA World Championship. Trick Williams defending against Joe Hendry and Santana. Justin, I'm going to give it to you. We've spoken about this. I think I know where you're going because you see the future of what TNA wants to be. So give it your prediction. Let's hear it.
What better time than to put the strap on Mike Santana? Mike Santana has been working his ass off ever since leaving AEW. He said on the Ariel Helwani show, I'm not some guy that just wants to sit around and collect a paycheck. He could have, but he didn't want to do that. He wanted to go out and bet on himself. He went back to TNA, and he is crushing it as a singles competitor. He is so over. He has gone to NXT. He's over there. He's great on the mic. He's great in the ring. And what better place for this man to win the TNA World Heavyweight Championship than in his native state, New York, baby. Let's go, Mike Santana, for TNA World Champion, baby.
On the Boricuas. Yeah, I was very impressed because a month or two ago, you even said that it's going to be a triple threat, Joe Hendry, Trick, and Santana. Like way before this was even in the realm. This was like when Joe Hendry first lost the title. And look, we're here 3 days away. And this is the main event of Slammiversary. So that was super impressive, Justin. Like that was an awesome call.
Thank you. I will take my flowers when given them. Obviously, I'm not going to refuse the flowers, but it just seemed logical. You have Trick. It seems Joe Hendry is on his way to WWE sometime in the near future. He got his run, and just the rise of Mike Santana that you were seeing and witnessing, watching it, there was just no other place for him to fit other than in that main event for the TNA World Championship.
The thing is, like, during their contract signing at Great American Bash, I was very pro Hendry winning this match, but the back and forth between Hendry and Santana was like super intriguing and like so different. And you could see the reasons for them, wanting to be champion and why they believe they should be champion. And Santana got me, man. I know Hendry was right there with him, man. I've seen a lot more seriousness and more and a lot less of his gimmicky side with this current, build up to this Slammiversary main event. And he's got me too. And I think I want to do it just to have another one different than you.
Okay.
But I'm going to go Joe Hendry. I'm going to say he becomes 2-time TNA champion. He reclaims what he feels like he should have never lost. and he continues his reign. Not to say I will be super ecstatic if Santana wins. I think that's like what we saw in All In with Hangman, finally releasing the AW World Championship. This will be that kind of moment if Santana does win.
I mean, Trick Williams is not making any friends other than Casey Navarro and AJ Francis. Let's be real. I mean, the diss track today was just, he literally dissed everyone. Everyone. He has zero friends other than those two. And I don't even know if they're friends. They're just probably acquaintances or business partners at this point. He's tricking A. And I don't think anyone in that arena is going to allow him to walk out and still with the TNA championship at Slammiversary.
So let's go a little bit towards the weekend, right? We hit Slammiversary. We're very pumped up. We can't wait. But I kind of want to dive into what I just talked about with Hangman, finally beating Jon Moxley, releasing the AW World Championship out of the briefcase, which I love that it still had the Daniel Bryanson side plates on him. Perfect little things like that. Like, this is good storytelling. Like, thank you, AEW. Thank you, Tony. Like, this is what we want. But even the people they brought in, Ospreay was the first one to sacrifice himself. We got a returning Bryan Danielson, who was, you could tell he was a little nervous because it was like his first time back in, but he was still kicking butt. We have Darby Allin talking shit from atop of Everest to rappel down. Like that, like this was really cool. And then finally Swerve bringing the chain to give it to Hangman to then hang Moxley again, and that's how he wins the death match again against Moxley. I thought it was freaking perfect. It was literally like WrestleMania 40-esque when Cody, was beat Roman for the title. Like, I love that they went that route because it works so perfectly with Moxley just holding that title captive for so long.
That match was awesome. There's just no other words to describe. Like, we did say we knew that was going to happen. We knew that there was going to be multiple people getting involved just because of the Death Riders and their involvement in just everything that Moxley ever does in his life. Like, Moxley probably goes and takes a shit, and you have Claudio holding, some paper towels, and you have, I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. You get what I'm saying. But just the whole full story, especially with Swerve at the end, Swerve and Hangman, and then just the look that Swerve gave Hangman as Hangman won the title. Like, I'll see you down the line. Like, don't worry, we're gonna run this back. It was just incredible storytelling, and props to TNA, to AEW, because we've said this is what they need. And like you said, having Bryan Danielson's nameplates still on the belt was just the icing on the cake. And it's just the little details. It's just the little details that ultimately made that moment in that match so damn good.
And they had Jim Ross back too, which was shocking. It was weird having like four or five commentators because Taz was out there too. They were like, it was just like a mess of commentary, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. They all got to, speak on some moments. But even like on Dynamite, like the way they're pushing forward after All In, I'm very excited for. Even with, going back to All In with the EVPs, who are not EVPs anymore, the Jacksons versus Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. Like, that match was killer. Like, some of the combinations where I think it was the Bucks going to do the EVP trigger on Ospreay, who it was either Ospreay or Swerve. He like flipped out of it and came back to get flipped right back into an EVP trigger. Like, that shit was sick, man. They really put on one hell of a match, and I had goosebumps the whole time. They were hard hitting, and it was very fun to see Will and Swerve win. So I can't wait to see what the world title picture looks like moving forward. But even what they're doing with EVPs already, the shitty entrances, the coming up in an Uber, like, it's already getting fun, and I'm excited to see where that goes. But just that match alone, man, I was just like floored watching that match.
I'll tell you what, the beginning of the card was honestly a little lackluster for me. I was like, uh-oh, what's going on here. And I know it's a stadium, so noise rises. So the crowd seemed a little bit dead, but there were reports that the crowd was into it the whole time. So I believe all that. But just the first few matches, I was like, like this isn't that great. But then once the second half of that card hit, my God, was that a rocket straight up. And I was like, holy shit. Like this is just banger after banger after banger. It was the second half of that show was unmatched. It really was incredible. And they just announced that AEW All In is going back to London next year. So there you go. Hopefully it happens. I'm calling it now. So a year from now, we can say I called it. When this should be the thing that everyone calls. Will Ospreay, Wembley, AEW World Champion to close out the night.
But you can also say you called it before they announced the stadium.
Yes, that's well, yeah.
You might have been profiting this beforehand, behind the scenes.
I'm conjuring some things.
Holding the strings of the puppet right there, making that wish come true, which I think we all want to see. I think if you don't want to see that, I think you're crazy. The man just leaves his heart in the ring every time he's there. And why wouldn't you want that man, winning the title at their grandest stage, in his home country, in his home area? So I want that. I would love him to have that championship before then, but that story just like tells itself. But another thing too, we called MJF winning the Casino Battle Royale, and then on the other side, it was Athena, which I love. Like I didn't even think that was going to even be an option, but now she's stalking Tony Storm, and to me, like that's a brilliant move. And you spoke on her, I think, in the prediction show, how she's just been tearing it up. And what better way to, elevate her more than to be able to target the AEW Women's Champion?
Yeah, it was silly that I didn't pick Athena, but I also didn't know I for some reason didn't know if she was in the match or if she was in the match. Obviously, Supercard, ROH Supercard was the night before, but my God, I mean, probably the second best choice to possibly happen to. So now, yeah, you got her and Tony now. She's just following Tony along, and it's the run that she's been on has just been truly remarkable. And then obviously wanted to bring up, we had Adam Cole come down to the ring. He has to step away from wrestling again. Another unfortunate concussion. That is, yeah, there you go, All Elite, baby. Just super, super unfortunate. He's such a good, not good. He's such a great in-ring competitor. To see this continuing to happen to him, it's with hockey. Like I'm just going to quickly, like he is Filipino. Like the Rangers had this young stud who just kept getting head injuries and just kept getting concussed. Like he couldn't avoid it, and it's just so unfortunate. And I hope that he'll get back in the ring eventually. Concussions are no joke. The symptoms are no joke. But hopefully he starts feeling better sooner rather than later. And hopefully we can see him back in a wrestling ring. If not, I totally see him going the producer route. I think he would be a phenomenal match producer. So all the best to him. But it came out with a great moment. Dustin Rhodes, baby. Holy shit. Who would have thought that one? Unbelievable.
Not me, man. I was actually shocked. I thought it was going to be in the bag for Kyle Fletcher, but now he's seething. Now he's gunning for Dustin Rhodes. He said it on Dynamite, like he's coming for you, Dustin. Like be prepared. And it was great to see Dustin, post match. It's very emotional. Like I'm so happy they did that for him. Like he deserves it. He's been a mainstay in AEW since they started, and he's been the Rhodes brother grinding there in and out, especially in the tag division with Sammy Guevara. Like he's been doing great. So props to him. Unfortunately, Kyle Fletcher is going to gun for him, and I think Kyle Fletcher is going to win that exchange. But until then, congrats, Dustin. You deserve it. I hope you get a little bit of a run. But yeah, Kyle Fletcher's coming for you, dude.
I can't believe I saw on X, someone said that was Dustin's first singles title since like 1999 when he held the Intercontinental Championship as Goldust.
It's crazy.
That is insane.
Yep.
that he had gone that long without a singles championship in WWE or AEW. Incredible. It's actually a shame because that's how good Dustin is. But man,
Talk about good soldiering, man.
oh
That is the
dude, yeah,
definition, dude.
my God, he is the greatest of soldiers.
And then I kind of want to get like, I mean, there's AEW. The AEW pay per view was just, to me, was so captivating. Like, let's talk. We have two things I want to talk about. First, we said it earlier. Tony Storm is still AEW Women's Champion, which is huge. I freaking loved every bit of that. I am so glad they didn't make Mercedes Hogan even more Mercedes Hogan. I did love her entrance with the cheerleaders all with the different belts around them. That was very Mercedes Moné. I
That's a
loved that
flex.
intro.
That's a strong flex right
It
there. When you can
was.
have all the cheerleaders dancing with your individual championships, that's a flex and a half.
Yeah, that's like Tom Brady type esque. But yeah, I'm very happy. Like, I'm glad AEW is putting all their eggs in the Tony Storm basket because she's a star. I think we can see a very good evolution of Mercedes Moné now that she couldn't win the big one in AEW. I think we start to see the titles get stripped away a little bit. I think we start to see, her really hone in on maybe a face character now, like bring her rock bottom to just to skyrocket her back up to then win the AEW Women's Championship. But by God, Tony Storm, freaking, she's a legend. She's a hero. I loved it so much. And I don't know, man. I couldn't stop smiling after that match ended.
The right call was made. By far, the right call was made. I know there's a bunch of Mercedes Moné lovers, and they wanted her to complete her belt collecting like Kenny Omega.
Her Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, her Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, but Tony deserves it. Tony deserved that moment, and I'm very happy that they gave it to her because she has been the best thing going for AEW, especially in the women's division, and I'm glad to see that she's still going to continue that.
And how about Adam Copeland coming back, healthy as a dog? Like, I think they dropped Cope now because they announced him as Adam Copeland, so maybe he's not Cope anymore. I don't know, which was confusing to me because I don't know. Whatever he wants to be, I'm fine with. But big things came out of the match. The Hurts didn't get retained. That's all I cared about. Great way. Nick Wayne turned on Christian. They were about to put him in the grave, and Adam came out with his nail bat. I don't even want his bat of destruction, and rushed them. Yeah, spike bat. Thank you. And rushed them away, which I thought was awesome because obviously the reason he went out there was to go after FTR, and we have the moment where Adam says, "Go find yourself" instead of "go F yourself" to Christian. So maybe we see them pair up one last time, which would be exciting. But how did you feel with that return?
I don't know what it is about people returning to save their brothers or their best friends in AEW, but they always have to get their entrances in. I mean, Christian was about to get concertoed, and Edge had to make sure that he ran back and forth on that stage, but he was in no rush to help Christian at all. He wanted his pyro. He needed everything. But yeah, I think we discussed this too before the actual show happened. We're kind of all waiting for this moment. So now we should get FTR versus a returning Edge and Christian, which is going to be an awesome moment. Hopefully they get a little run. I wouldn't mind seeing them as tag team champions for even a little bit, but I'm glad that this is finally coming full circle because this has been going on, the Edge and Christian thing, ever since Edge debuted in AEW. So I'm glad it's happening, and I can't wait to see how Christian now starts finding himself. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I want to see it happen. I hope they don't like discard that and just like keep him a heel. I would love to see him, find his inner self, come back as his face Christian because they're setting it up, especially with the turn on him. So I want to see a face Christian. I miss it. I know I love Christian more as a heel, but I want to see a new journey for him because we've kind of seen this same Christian for a few years now, and it's time for him to change up his character and elevate it. So super excited for that. I can't wait to see how that unfolds. We're going to go to a low point right now. I think the lowest point of the weekend at Saturday Night Main Event, Seth Rollins tweaking the knee. He mentioned, they're still waiting because of, I think it's still swollen. They're still waiting to take better images, but he thinks it's going to be a lengthy recovery based off how he feels. He's not a doctor. They still need to take images. But that sucks. It's rough. I was really bummed. Like, this man was ready to take SummerSlam by storm, in my opinion. He's, they built this amazing faction, and it's still going to be amazing. And, we've seen the aftermath of Raw, with Roman Reigns coming back and Braun Breaker saying, "I thought he was dead," which I was rolling. I could not stop laughing. Every time I rewatched it, he's like, "I thought he was dead." I loved it. It just got me every time. I don't know why, but I think that's a big point for Roman to return. I think he was going to return at Saturday Night Main Event, possibly, maybe even at SummerSlam. But now with this unfortunate injury, now we have the OTC back.
Yeah, I didn't know that the weekend could get lower than having to watch Goldberg wrestle a match, but unfortunately it did with this unfortunate injury to Seth Rollins. It was weird because it looked like he landed fine, but just, seeing and hearing that his knee just buckled, it's just super unfortunate because he has been riding this huge wave of momentum, especially with this group that he's been building. But he'll be back. I'm not worried about that. Go rest up, go heal up. He'll be back when we least expect it. And that he's gonna be, that cash in that happened at Mania, the ultimate heist, it's gonna happen again. I don't know who it's gonna be against, but it's gonna happen again, and I can't wait for that moment. So Seth Rollins, just heal up. I hope he's back sooner than he believes that he's gonna be. Obviously, we don't know the official diagnosis yet, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be great.
I don't think anything's going to stop him from getting back for WrestleMania season. He's going to rehab his ass off. He's going to train hard. The man already does. Like, he is a super soldier, in my opinion. He's going to do what he needs to get back before WrestleMania. And the man just won Money in the Bank. So he's got plenty of time before he needs to cash that in or relinquish it. And I'm glad they're not just taking it off of him yet. I get they're probably waiting for the MRI announcements or the results, but still, the man's got a whole freaking year for the most part, and I want to see him cash that Money in the Bank briefcase in on CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, maybe even before WrestleMania. Set up the WrestleMania rematch, but with CM Punk being the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship against Gunther, I think they're going to pull the trigger. The man is one of the most over people in the company. Every time the likes of Drew McIntyre or Seth Rollins pop out or Paul Heyman, the CM Punk chants go wild. The man is super over. He's got to be pushing merch like a champion. And I think TKO probably wants it too. Like, why wouldn't you want the belt on one of the most over guys in the company right now? So calling it now, just like you called Wembley Stadium for Will Ospreay next year. I'm calling Seth Rollins cashing in Money in the Bank on a World Heavyweight Champion that is CM Punk and taking that championship away. And that feud will never end until one of them retire. That's gonna happen.
That is long-term storytelling. That would be unbelievable. We've seen these two go at it. These two despise each other, especially Seth Rollins despising CM Punk. So what better way that you just said? That would be a bone-chilling moment. And I'm with you. That if they're writing it already, it should already be in permanent marker that once Seth Rollins is cleared, he's taking that title from CM Punk, because what better way to get back at CM Punk for what? I don't know, just hating him, than taking the damn title off him. But back to Roman real quick. Everyone's hating on his shirt, OTC1, right? Because everyone's like, oh, well, if you're the original and you're one, like, they're trying to be all politically correct with the English language. But I think the one is based on someone that he still has things to deal with.
QB1.
QB1 is Cody Rhodes. He calls himself the QB1, and Roman Reigns hasn't forgotten Cody Rhodes. And I think we're going to see that Cody Rhodes heel turn eventually. I don't know whether it happens in a few short weeks at SummerSlam, but it's coming. Court, prepare yourself if you're watching. Your boy is turning heel, and it's happening sooner rather than later. and I think we're gonna get a heel Cody versus was it Highlander, right? No, whatever TV show that is that they keep referring to him as.
Oh, Homelander. It's the
Homelander,
boys.
Highlander, Homelander, whatever. So Homelander Cody versus OTC 1 Roman Reigns, and that will feed babies for centuries.
And that's what I mean, I got that off the bat. Like him
Yeah.
having that shirt on with the one, like obviously he's the OTC, right? But the reason he had the one, like you said, was to counteract Cody. And that's where the long-term storytelling also comes in, which WWE is very good with. And I can see that being the WrestleMania match next year, the main event. Heel Cody versus face Roman for the WWE Championship.
Oh,
like that, I'm already getting chills thinking about that. Like the roles reversed in that main event. And like, who knows what could happen? Like, Cody can enlist Solo to screw over Roman or something like that. Something crazy. Like the things they could do in the rematch when the roles are reversed would be insane. And I want that. That's what I'm hoping for next year as well. Like, there's so much fun that could be had with wrestling, especially with these top stars, that I'm hoping happens. And if it doesn't, like, it's whatever. I know Triple H is going to cook. I still have faith in my boy. You know, like I said, I think they need to dial back on the PLEs just a tiny bit, you know, leave some storytelling space for, you know, for longer, you know, lengths of time. But that's what I want. I mean, I already have that in my vision. I think that shirt itself is just a tease. It's just an inkling of what's to come. And I can't wait.
It's I can't, if it happens, it should happen. If they're smart, it will happen. Face Roman Reigns versus a heel Cody Rhodes for the title. Jesus, unbelievable. So please just set it up now. Once again, we're taking out the permanent ink and just mark it down. Let's get it done.
I want to get into a little evolution too. I mean, like I said when we started the podcast today, you know, some of the lead up to these matches weren't the greatest, but like these women delivered, man. And I heard someone say this felt like an old Attitude Era like pay-per-view, and they're damn right. And we've spoken about this many times. Like the women's roster is just star after star after star after star, and the lineup is insane. And for them just to put on a clinic for that whole night, I loved every second of it. I thought it was fun. I thought the matches were super entertaining, and you could tell they wanted to give their all. And you even seen, you know, clip on social media them partying the bus afterwards. It was just, you knew they loved it. They knew they killed it. They were having a grand old time, and props to them. They need to make Evolution a yearly or bi-yearly thing.
Absolutely, they should. And I think because there were 7 matches on this card. Most WWE PLEs now have been 5. Can we now just put the 5 match card to rest, because we want to see more. We want more action. We don't want this in between, especially on PLEs. We don't want this downtime. Just keep the matches coming. Keep letting the talent cook. This card was incredible. This is easily a top 2 PLE of the whole year in my mind, and I'm sure you're shaking your head yes, so I'm sure you agree. The women absolutely slayed from the start of the card to the end of the card. I mean, the end of the card was chef's kiss. I mean, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley put on one hell of a match just for Naomi to come storming in and cashing in. Unbelievable. Like, just the whole card was, and the fans, shout out to the fans in Atlanta, because they were ready for it and they showed out as well. So not only did the women show out, but the fans in Atlanta showed out, because it felt special the whole night.
It really did. And even though my prophecy is dead, which is a little dagger to my heart, I loved the ending of that PLE. I loved the ending of Evolution 2. When Naomi came out, I was like, holy shit. What a perfect way, not even just for her to win the championship, but for then Rhea to still not have beaten Io Sky. Like, that to me in itself was like mind blown. Like, take my money. I'm about to buy a shit ton of merch with the money with money I don't have.
Yeah.
I loved it so much because, like you said, Rhea and Io, they left it all in the ring. The things they were taken out of, the false finishes, like, I think that would have went 2 more hours, maybe 3 more hours, maybe a whole freaking day if they would have been able to just to fight without Naomi coming in to just, put the dagger in and say, "Hey, this is mine now. See ya." Just I want to say congrats to Naomi. Her character, this Proceed with Caution character, has been top notch. Has been so fun to watch. To see her just like take the reins and just go to another level with this character. Like, this was the icing on the cake. I really hope she runs with this championship for a while, because if she can beat Io one-on-one, if she can beat Rhea one-on-one, I know they have a triple threat at SummerSlam, which is going to be super exciting. As long as she comes out on top with that and she could go one-on-one with these individuals and beat them, even if it's underhanded, I think it could really solidify her as one of the top women in this division.
We always bring it up, Ty. And for those that haven't listened to our interview with Bear Bronson yet, you can in a few days if you're not subscribed to the Bodyslam Patreon. But we mention it with him too. Social media. Ty and I are huge, avid fans of wrestlers taking social media and using it to their advantage. We love that. Naomi, another grade A example of taking social media, having fun with it, and using it to build themselves up to this whole other echelon of being over. And now we have a new world heavyweight women's champion, and it's well deserved.
Yeah, man. I just was so like again, I was sad because my prophecy was shattered, but I was more proud that she really, said, "See you SmackDown. I ain't dealing with that drama over there." And she said that on Monday. Like, she's like, "I ain't dealing with that shit anymore. Like, that's in the past. I'm the champion of this brand. Like, I'm gonna stay here. Who knows what's gonna happen, with the draft, if that's the case." But yeah, I'm so excited for her. And I do want to talk about one more thing real quick. The Intercontinental Championship match, the triple threat. Becky, Bailey, Lyra. Also, chef's freaking kiss. I mean, I love that Becky did end up winning. I picked Lyra. I was wrong. But then to have a best 2 out of 3 falls on Monday Night Raw between Lyra and Bailey to face Becky at SummerSlam, I don't know, man. The women's division just cooks. That was just like, when was the last time you've seen like a best 2 out of 3 falls like that? And where like the story's there. Like, I didn't care who won. I mean, I did want Lyra was my more favorite, but if Bailey won, like, whatever. Lyra's the up and comer. She deserved it. She deserves the limelight at SummerSlam. She deserves to get her championship back. That's what I'm hoping for. But man, just those 2 nights of just like back to back was insane.
Yeah, they cooked. Starting with the triple threat match, it was incredible. Like we talk my GM mode. You want to start the show off hot and you want to end the show off hot. By God, did they do that? It was incredible, that triple threat match. And then to go into that 2 out of 3 falls match on Monday Night Raw, the fans that went to Monday Night Raw, they got a PLE worthy main event out of that 2 out of 3 falls match. Lyra Valkyria and Bailey put on another show, and just the storytelling throughout the match, everything was absolutely incredible. But we are now at the 55-minute mark. We have 243 of you here live with us right now. Man, does time go quick when you just keep talking wrestling and you're just having fun doing it. We are going to call it here. We have a long weekend ahead of us. We have TNA Slammiversary live at UBS Arena here on Long Island. So for anyone that's working media at the events on Sunday, it is not in Long Island. It is on Long Island. So that's very, very important. So that's just a little fruit for thought there. But thank you all.
I tell all the people in Pennsylvania that I live around, it's on Long Island.
It is.
You ain't in it.
No, we are not in Long Island. We are on Long Island. But if anyone is watching and they're going to TNA Slammiversary, Ty and myself will be walking around. We're going to be looking to do interviews. So come find us. If you see us, we're very approachable. We'll shoot the shit with you. We'll have we'll have some fun. And I just cannot wait for the night of wrestling that we have ahead of us on Sunday. We have TNA go home show tonight in about a half hour. So I'm going to go cook up that cowboy ribeye, and I'm going to have myself one hell of a time as my mini vacation is starting tomorrow morning. But thank you all. Please, once again, go subscribe to the Bodyslam Patreon for breaking news, exclusive breaking news, interviews, podcasts, and more, as is our Bear Bronson interview right now. Later on in the week, it will be available to the public. Go subscribe to our YouTube. You can see the top left corner. We are at the 10 Count Pod on all socials and YouTube. So please, it takes 2 seconds to give us a subscribe, and it really helps us out. Thank you all so much. It has been a busy, long week of wrestling, and we have more to come, Ty. So let's ring the bell, because this podcast is over. We will see you all next week. This Sunday, we will not have the quick count because obviously we will be at Slammiversary. So we will see you all next Thursday, a week from today, for the 10 count. Until then, it is Ty, it is Justin, and we are out.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.